It starts quietly, almost imperceptibly. An employee clicks a link in an email that looks legitimate, a routine invoice from a known supplier. Nothing happens, or so it seems. Days later, the company's servers grind to a halt. Customer records are encrypted. Shipping manifests are encrypted. Financial data are encrypted. A faceless attacker demands a ransom. The business is paralyzed. Operations cease. Trucks sit idle. Trust evaporates in an instant. This is not hypothetical. It is a daily reality. The crime scene is no longer a physical space with yellow tape. Servers, workstations, cloud accounts. The damage is real. Financial ruin and reputational collapse. This is where computer forensics enters the picture. Identifying, preserving, analyzing, presenting. The work of a digital forensics investigator is guided by a clear and comprehensive set of objectives, each one critical to the success of an investigation. The primary goal is to identify, gather, preserve digital evidence related to a security incident. This is the foundational step upon which all other activities are built. It involves carefully locating relevant data across a wide array of sources: hard drives, mobile phones, network logs, cloud storage, and creating perfect, verifiable copies. This process must be conducted in a way that protects the integrity of the original evidence, ensuring that it remains untouched and pristine. The investigator acts as a digital archaeologist, carefully unearthing artifacts without disturbing the site. Once the evidence is secured, the next objective is to interpret it and present the findings in a clear, understandable format. Raw data, such as hexadecimal code or complex system logs, is meaningless to a judge, a jury, or a board of directors. The investigator translates technical information into a compelling narrative that explains the who, what, where, when, and how of the incident. This involves reconstructing timelines, demonstrating cause and effect, and providing context for the attacker's actions. The ultimate goal is a report that is factually accurate and technically sound and accessible to a non-technical audience, enabling informed decision-making in the courtroom and the boardroom. By analyzing network traffic, recovering emails, recovering chat logs, identifying the tools used in an attack, they provide law enforcement with critical leads. This objective extends to estimating the impact and intent of the attack. The forensic process begins the moment an incident is suspected. It follows a strict methodology to ensure integrity and admissibility. The very first step is to secure the digital scene. This requires careful judgment. Physically isolate compromised computers to prevent remote access, or prevent further data destruction. For live servers, leave the system running to preserve volatile data. Preserve active network connections. Preserve running processes. The guiding principle. First, do no harm. Every action deliberate and documented. With the scene secured, create a forensic image. Investigators almost never work on the original evidence. Use specialized hardware and software to make a bit-for-bit copy. Hard drive, smartphone, memory card. Generate a cryptographic hash for original and image. If hashes match, the copy is identical. Mathematical proof. Seal and store the original device in secure storage. Analyze the identical copy instead. Maintain a rigorous chain of custody throughout. Document every interaction with the evidence. Who collected the device, when and where it was collected, who it was transferred to, purpose of each transfer. Every handler must sign for the evidence. A lapse can be a fatal flaw in a legal case. A strong chain of custody is the bedrock of credible digital evidence. Only after preservation does analysis begin. Recover deleted files. Reconstruct user activity. Parse log files. Document every finding. Report. Steps taken. Tools used, conclusions drawn. The Digital Forensics Toolkit is as varied as the devices and systems it is designed to analyze, ranging from simple command line utilities to comprehensive all-in-one software suites. For recovering deleted files, for instance, an investigator uses tools that understand how operating systems handle data. When a file is deleted, the operating system typically just removes the pointer to that file in its index, marking the space it occupied as available for new data. The actual data often remains on the disk until it is overwritten. Forensic tools like Autopsy, FTK Imager can scan this unallocated space on a drive image, identify the file fragments, and reconstruct them, often recovering critical evidence that an attacker thought was gone forever. Log analysis is another fundamental technique, and it relies on tools that can parse and correlate vast amounts of data from different sources. System logs, application logs, network firewall logs. For example, a web server log might show a series of suspicious requests from a single IP address, probing for vulnerabilities. A tool like Splunk or an ELK stack can ingest these logs, visualize connections, filter by time, and quickly spot anomalies. By correlating events, an investigator can start to build a clear picture of an attacker's movements across the network. Memory analysis tools, such as Volatility, can capture the contents of a computer's live RAM and analyze it for running malware, stolen passwords, encryption keys that exist only in memory and would be lost on shutdown. In the world of forensics, possession of evidence is not enough. You must be able to prove its history. The chain of custody is the single most important document in this process, serving as the chronological paper trail that shows the evidence in court is the exact same evidence from the crime scene and that it has remained untampered with. It is a formal log that meticulously records the journey of each piece of evidence. This documentation starts at the moment of seizure, noting the date, time, location, and the individual who collected the item. Every subsequent transfer, analysis, movement of that evidence must be recorded with equal precision. This process is not mere bureaucracy. It is the foundation of evidentiary trust. Imagine a defense lawyer asking, "Who had access to this drive between its collection on Monday and your analysis on Friday?" If the record is incomplete, the lawyer can plant a seed of doubt, suggesting contamination, alteration, or even planting. A judge may rule the evidence inadmissible, and the prosecution's case could collapse. The chain of custody preempts this challenge by creating an unassailable record of integrity. Every detail matters. Unique identifiers, descriptions, names and signatures, exact times and dates, storage locations, transport methods, and recorded hash values to prove exact copies. Together, the physical log and digital hashes create a fortress of authenticity that can withstand legal scrutiny. Every second of the evidence's life, from collection to courtroom, is accounted for, leaving no room for ambiguity or suspicion. The practice of digital forensics is inextricably bound to the law, and investigators must navigate a complex and often confusing legal landscape. The primary legal concern is ensuring that all evidence is collected lawfully, corporate policy for internal cases, and search warrants for criminal cases that specify scope and targets. Evidence collected in violation of legal standards is fruit of the poisonous tree and will be thrown out. The borderless internet complicates jurisdiction. An attacker in Eastern Europe, a server in North America, a victim in Asia. Whose laws apply? Accessing evidence abroad can require respecting local privacy laws like GDPR and formal treaties such as mutual legal assistance treaties. An action legal in one country may be a criminal offense in another, like scanning a foreign server. Forensic teams work closely with legal counsel and international law enforcement. Organizations must know where data resides, engage counsel early in incident response, and train investigators to recognize legal boundaries. Without adherence to the rule of law, even brilliant forensic analysis becomes worthless, and justice remains out of reach. Navigating this labyrinth is not easy, but it is essential. The ultimate value of computer forensics extends far beyond convicting a single attacker. It transforms organizations from reactive victims into resilient entities prepared for future threats. Findings provide a brutally honest assessment, pinpointing failures in technology, process, and personnel, offering a clear, evidence-based path to remediation. Forensics not only solves the crime, it provides a blueprint for stronger defenses, ensuring mistakes aren't repeated. To move from vulnerability to strength, focus on hygiene and preparedness. Plan ahead. Develop a formal incident response plan that defines roles, responsibilities, procedures. Don't wait for a crisis. Specify who to call: internal stakeholders, external forensic experts, legal counsel, and test the plan with tabletop exercises. Pre-vet and retain a forensic firm to save critical hours. Keep and protect your logs, system, network, application in a separate, write-protected environment for at least 90 days. Train your people on phishing, password hygiene, social engineering. Teach immediate reporting. Maintain and test backups, offline or immutable, and practice restoring. Work with experts before you need them.